Okay, good evening. Now we can start the class. Can you hear me? On your
Yes,
video.
teacher.
Now on your video. Okay. So yeah. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Today we very first before we start the class, I said at last week for you keep a extra notebook for writing vocabulary writing difficult words ne කියවනේ the difficult words ලියා ගන්න පොතක්
Yes,
ඕනි
teacher.
කියලා තියෙනවද පොතක් do you have a book for writing difficult words
Yes, teacher.
okay can you hear me clearly if you can't hear me clearly you should let me know okay can you hear me
Okay.
clearly
Yes, teacher.
now okay 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 today we have to start I think landscape of the wet zone eh? We have to start landscape of the wet zone තෙත් කලාපයේ භූෂමතාවය නේද අද තියෙන්නේ අපිට ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ තෙත් කලාපයේ භූෂමතාවය නේද
Excuse me, teacher.
yeah
Teacher, පොඩ්ඩක් කරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ මගේ Wi-Fi එක ගහලා නැහැ. පොඩ්ඩක් ගහලා දෙන්න.
okay
Okay, teacher.
okay today we have to continue landscape of the wet zone eh? තෙත් කලාපීය
Yes, teacher.
භූෂමතාවය පටන් ගත්ත නේද අපි පටන් ගත්ත නේද තෙත් කලාපීය භූෂමතාවය ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ yes ne did we
Yes,
start the landscape of, yeah I already told you a landscape of wet zone can be seen in the southern western and eastern slopes of hill slope of Sri Lanka. What are the areas which landscape distributed within the wet zone? What are the areas in Sri Lanka? Southern, western, eastern slopes. දකුණ, බස්නාහිර සහ උතුරු බෑවුම් වල sorry නැගෙනහිර බෑවුම් වල northern not northern eastern නැගෙනහිර බෑවුම් වල තෙත් කලාපීය ලක්ෂණ නැත්නම් තෙත් කලාපීය භූමිෂමතාවය landscapes of wet zones are distributed around the southern, western and eastern slope of Sri Lanka and also central hills මධ්‍යම කඳුකරයේ පීඩල තියෙනවා කියලා දුන්නා නේද? Can you remember that one?
yes, teacher.
Okay. The figure number 3.4 in your textbook, page number 35, you can see the landscape of wet zone of Sri Lanka. How that landscapes are distributed around the Sri Lanka. What are the wet zone distributed areas which can be found in that specific areas. You can understand by using this figure in clearly. What are they? I told you in previously Kalutara, Gampaha and Kandy, Matara, Galle. These districts are clearly mentioned in the map as wet zone areas. Candy,
Candy.
Gampaha. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. මහනුවර කොළඹ ගම්පහ සහ මාතර ඒ වගේම ගාල්ල කියන දිස්ත්‍රික්ක වල නේද? widely ඒ කියන්නේ වැඩිපුර widely කියන්නේ වැඩිපුර කියන එක WIDELY widely නේ widely distributed widely distributed widely කියලා කියනවා අපි වැඩිපුර ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා wide okay so these are we call the wet zone of Sri Lanka wet zone of Sri Lanka so yeah next did you write the physical features of wet zone on last week did you write down physical features of wet zone no
No, teacher.
no today write down the topic physical and cultural features of write down physical and cultural features of okay, write down physical and cultural features of physical and cultural features of wet zone. I think this pen is not clearly. You can't see it clearly. Physical and cultural features of wet zone. I think. Did you write down that topic clearly? Did
Yes,
you write
teacher.
down? Okay. Okay. As the point form, as I mentioned you earlier, as the point form, write down one by one like this. Huh? One by one. Okay. One by one, write down. First one. Then after, we can discuss that points. Okay. Write down first point. A physical landscape consisting of a physical landscape consisting of a physical landscape consisting of flatlands, 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 rigs, RIDGE, rigs, flatlands, rigs, RIDGES, rigs, rigs, flatlands, rigs, river flowing throughout the year, 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 river flowing throughout the year. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Write to that one. ඒකටම ලියා ගන්න. ඒ ඡේදෙටම write to that one. Marshlands, marshlands. You know what is the meaning of marshlands? Marshlands are mostly distributed in wet zone area. Marshlands, MARSHY, marshlands. In your textbook, you can see what are the marshlands. Marshlands. Rich vegetation cover, rich marshlands, rich vegetation covers Marshy lands, rich vegetation cover, rich vegetation cover, rich vegetation cover, and the specific biodiversity, and the specific biodiversity, and the specific biodiversity are the important features of wet zone landscape. Are the important features of, what is the meaning of feature? විශේෂාංගයක් කොටසක්. ඒ කියන්නේ වැදගත් කොටසක් වෙනවා තෙත් කලාප. Specific or are the specific features of wet zone landscape. What I mention in this point? What I mention in this point? In the wet zone area, as a physical feature, we can see flatlands, creeks, river flowing throughout the year, marshy lands, vegetations, rich vegetation cover, and the biodiversity are the important features we can see the wet zone. By using these features, we can't understand this is not a dry condition zone, this is a wet zone. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? River flowing throughout the year of wet zone. Ganga අඛණ්ඩව ගංගාවක් දිගින් දිගටම ගලාගෙන යනවා තෙත් කලක්. ඒ වගේම තමයි වගුරු බිම් දකින්න ලැබෙනවා මඩ සහිතයිනේ. තෙත් කලාපය මඩ සහිතයි නේද? ඔව් මම කිව්වනේ දැන් ගිය සතිය ඔයාලට මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් වගේම සිංහල වලින් ට්‍රාන්ස්ලේටර් එකක් කියා දෙනවා මොකද තාම වචන ටික අමාරු නිසා. නේද? වගුරු බිම් මඩ සහිතයි. අමාරු වචන ලියා ගන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඔයාලට මම කිව්වනේ ගිය සතියේ grade 7 අයට තාම වචන හුරු නෑනේ නේද? ඒ නිසා flatland areas කියන්නේ මොනවද? තැනි තලාවක්. ඒ කියන්නේ කඳු නැති ප්‍රදේශයක්. Flatland area එක. That is the meaning of flatland. Rigs කියන්නේ මොනවද? උස කඳු පන්ති, උස කඳු තියෙන ස්ථානය කියන්නේ rig එකක්. Rich vegetation cover. What is the meaning of rich vegetation cover? සරු නැත්නම් පොහොසත්. rich කියන්නේ පොහොසත්. ඒ කියන්නේ වර්ධනය වෙච්ච වෘක්ෂලතා ආවරණයක්. වර්ධනය වෙච්ච වෘක්ෂලතා වැස්මකින් යුක්තයිලු තෙත් කලාපය. Rich vegetation cover. That is the meaning of this whole of sentence. Okay, we can identify wet zone as a marshy land, flatland, river flowing throughout the year, rich with vegetation cover and the high biodiversity. What is the meaning of biodiversity? ජෛව විවිධත්වය කියන්නේ ශාක සහ සතුන්ගේ විවිධත්වය. විශාල ශාක ප්‍රමාණයක් සහ සත්ව ප්‍රමාණයක් ජීවත් වෙනවා නම් අපි ඒ ඒරියා එකේ biodiversity එක ජෛව විවිධත්වය ඉතා ඉහළයි කියලා කියනවා. The biodiversity is, when the biodiversity is high, that area we can identify as a wet zone area. As the biodiversity is low, we can identify that area as a dry zone area. In last week, I already mentioned you what are the features we can see dry zone area, dry zone landscape. Ne? How can we identify dry zone landscape? Now I explaining how we can identify wet zone landscape. Okay, write down the next point. Write down. Due to the heavy rain. First you should write down, then I will explain. Due to the heavy rain in wet zone landscape. Due to the heavy rain in wet zone landscape, constantly change constantly change by flooding. Constant, 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 constantly change by flooding, flooding, flooding. FLOODING, flooding. Okay. Flooding. Due to the heavy rain, in wet zone landscape, constantly flooding, okay, constantly change by flooding. What is the meaning of that? Heavy rain mean, what is the meaning of heavy rain? තද වැසි සහිත කාලය නිසා constantly නිතර නිතරම නැත්නම් බහුලවම මෙම ප්‍රදේශයේ ගම් වතුර, ඒ කියන්නේ මෙම ප්‍රදේශවල in the wet zone area we can see ne in southern areas, in western areas, in the eastern slope, central hills, we can see the flooding area. Yeah, Colombo, Kandy, Gampaha, Kalutara, as I mentioned you earlier in the map. Okay, how flooding is here, how flooding constantly incident, as a incident we can see how flooding was changed the wet zone landscape. Because of the heavy rain, flooding constantly changed that wet zone landscape. Okay, that's why we are telling these are wet zone area. Write down the next point. Write down next point. Write down the next point. Flood plains form along the flood plains form along the flood plains okay, FLOOD, flood plain form along the okay, flood plain form along the floodplain form along the river valleys. River valleys. I already explained in last week what is the meaning of river valley. River valley. Okay. River valley. Due to the constant flooding, 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 have been converted to rich farmlands. Rich farmlands. Rich farmlands. Okay, continue to that point. Continue to that point. Kalani River Valley. Kalani River Valley. Kalani River Valley. Kalani River Valley, famous for Kalani River Valley, famous for Kalani River Valley, famous for growing vegetables. Growing vegetables. Kalani River Valley famous for growing vegetables. Growing vegetables. Kalani River Valley famous for growing vegetables. What you say? What I can you understand what I said in this point? තේරෙනවද මේ point එකෙන් මොකද කියන්නේ කියලා? Okay.
Yes.
Flood pains. ඒ කියන්නේ can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Flood pains. ඒ කියන්නේ ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි. ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි flood pains form along the river valleys. ගංගා නිම්නය දෙපස මේ ගම් වතුරෙන් ඇතිවෙච්ච පිටාර තැනි නේද? flood pains mean ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි. එතකොට ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි තැම්පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා ගංගාව දෙපස ගංගා නිම්නවල. That's why we mentioning along the river valleys. Flood plains formed along the river valleys. ගංගාව දෙපස දිගේ river valleys. ගංගා නිම්නය දෙපස පිහිටලා තියෙනවා ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි. ඒවා දිගින් දිගටම නැත්තම් නිතරම constantly මේ flood plains නිසා ඒවා converted වෙනවා rich farmlands වලට. farmland එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? වගා බිමක් දක්වා ඒවා convert වෙනවා. convert වෙනවා කියන්නේ ඒවා හැරෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ වෙනස් වෙනවා. වගා බිමක් දක්වා මේ ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි හඳුනා ගන්නවා ඒ ආශ්‍රිත යම් යම් වගාවල්. පළතුරු වගාව, එළවලු වගාව වගේ දේවල්. That's why I mention you in here. Kalani River famous for the vegetable farming according to the floodplain river valley. Okay? ගම් වතුර පිටාර තැනි නිසා Kalani River Valley එක famous වෙනවා එළවලු වගාවට. Under that methods we can see floodplain are formed along the river valleys. Because of that, areas are famous for rich farmlands. Okay? Can you understand that one? Identify that one. Okay. So next one, write down. Write down. In the wet zone landscape, 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 in the wet zone, high population is distributed. High population is distributed in the wet zone landscape. High population is distributed and the settlements are more complex features, and the settlements are more complex features. Settlements are more complex features. Settlements. 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 And the settlements are more complex features. COMPLEX. Complex features. More complex features. Okay. More complex features. මම මේ වචන වල තේරුම කියා දෙන්නම්. I will explain that's the difficult words. In this sentence, we can identify in the wet zone area distributed high population. මිනිස්සු ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා වැඩි. ඒ කියන්නේ ජනගහනය වැඩි. මිනිස්සු ජීවත් වෙනවා වැඩි තෙත් කලාපේ. ඒ වගේම තමයි settlements කියන්නේ මොනවද? ජනාවාස. මිනිසුන්ගේ ගෙවල්, නිවාස distribute වෙලා තියෙනවා වැඩිපුරම. නිවාස ව්‍යාප්තියත් වැඩි. සංකීර්ණයි. complex කියන්නේ සංකීර්ණයි කියන එක. දුෂ්කරයි කියන එක නෙමෙයි ඒ අදහස සංකීර්ණයි අපහසු wet zone area එකේ population එක වැඩි නිසා settlements also distributed in complex. Can you understand what am I saying? Okay, I told you already in earlier Gampaha, Colombo and Kalutara included to the wet zone area of Sri Lanka. That's why we can identify in Sri Lanka, Western province is a very small area of province. Very small area of province. But the high population and the settlements are also high density. The settlements are also distributed in complex feature in the western area, okay, in the western province. Western province is also western province is also wet zone area, wet zone landscape. That's included to wet zone landscape. The high population and settlements complexes are we can see around these areas. Okay. එතකොට ජනගහනය මිනිස්සුන්ගේ වැඩි ව්‍යාප්තිය වැඩි ඒ වගේම තමයි නිවාස ව්‍යාප්තිය සංකීර්ණයි කියන එක. අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් wet zone landscape එකේ cultural feature එකක් විදිහට. සංස්කෘතික தත්ත්වයක් විදිහට. I told you in last week physical features are naturally occurred features. Cultural features are man-made features. These are not natural. These are artificial features. Okay. Next one, next point, write down. A diversity of agricultural land use. 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 A diversity of agricultural land use can be seen in the wet zone as 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 coconut cultivation on coastal region, coconut cultivation on coastal region, coastal, coconut cultivation on coastal region, on coastal, on coastal region. Can you see the word coastal?
Yes, teacher.
Coconut cultivation on coastal region, comma, paddy cultivation in river valleys, 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 and the rubber and tea plantation on the slopes, and the paddy and and the rubber and tea plantation on the slopes, and the rubber and tea plantations on the slopes, and the rubber and tea plantations on the slopes.
Teacher, I can't hear clearly.
Can you hear now? Now can you hear?
තාම නෑ teacher දැන් පොඩ්ඩ කෙටි කෙටි එන්නේ teacher තාම පොඩ්ඩ.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Teacher?
Yeah, now can you hear me clearly?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now it's okay. Did you write down the previous point? Did you write down the previous point?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, diversity of agricultural landscape can be seen in the wet zone. Coconut cultivation on the coastal region, paddy cultivation in the river valleys, and the tea plantations and rubber plantation on the slopes. You can understand what am I saying in this point? Okay,
Yes, teacher.
Verala coastal area එක coastal region එක කියන්නේ වෙරළ. කියන්නේ මුහුදු බඩ ප්‍රදේශවල පොල් වගාව, ගංගා නිම්නවල වී වගාව, තේ වගාව සහ රබර් වගාව කඳු බෑවුම් වල ස්ලොප් එකක් කියන්නේ කඳු බෑවුමක්, SLOPE ස්ලොප් කියන්නේ බෑවුමක්. බෑවුම් වල තේ වගාව සහ රබර් වගාව කෙරෙනවා. ඒ වගේම coastal COATL මම බෝඩ් එකේ ලිව්ව වර්ඩ් එක I already mentioned you earlier coastal region එක කියන්නේ වෙරළ ප්‍රදේශය වෙරළ ප්‍රදේශයේ කොකොනට් ඒ කියන්නේ පොල් වගාව I told you in previously, river valleys are famous for the paddy cultivation. Ganga Nimna ආශ්‍රිතව වී වගාව සිදු කරනවා wet zone landscape එකේ. මේ paragraph එකකින් කියන අදහස තමයි how wet zone landscape famous for agricultural lands, agricultural and the vegetation areas. Okay, can you understand? I think you can understand already in clearly these points. Okay, write down next one. Write down next one. The cities included the wet zone. 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 Kalambu, Gampaha and Kalutara. Kalambu, Gampaha and Kalutara. The cities included the wet zone. Kalambu, Gampaha and Kalutara. Matara, Gol, Nigambu, Kandi. Kalambu, Gampaha and Kalutara. Matara, Gol, Nigambu, Kandi. Matara, Gol, Nigambu, Kandi. Kalambu, Gampaha and Kalutara. Matara, Gol, Nigambu and Kandi. Mostly important to, mostly important to, mostly important to, mostly important to, okay,
Okay, teacher.
mostly important to industries and services, industries and services, industries and services in the landscape, in the landscape, industries and services in the landscape, industries and services in the landscape. Okay, we can see I already mentioned you in the map number page number 35. Gampaha, Kalutara and Kalambu Western Province districts also included to the wet zone, and Nigambo, Gampaha, Kandy, Matara, Gold, that area also included to wet zone. In the wet zone landscape, the industries, we can Karmanta Shala, Karmanta, the industries and the services, Seva. Services means Seva. කර්මාන්ත සහ සේවාද ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ තෙත් කලාපීය භූ විෂමතාවයට අනුව. In the landscape of wet zone, we can see the industrial and services are distributed, which are included for the wet zone landscape, Gampaha, Kalutara, Kalambu, Matara, Gold, Nigambu, and the Kandy area also. Okay, write down the next point. Am I too fast? No.
No, teacher.
No. Okay, write down next point. Write down next point. Due to the social and unemployment problems, due to the social and unemployment problems, unemployment, unemployment, Okay, unemployment. 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 Write down that word clearly. Unemployment. Okay. Due to the social and unemployment problems, okay, UNEMPLOYMENT. Due to the social and unemployment problems, population migrated to in your textbook these words are in here. Migrated to, MIGRATED. Migrated to, population migrated to, okay, population migrated to. Due to the social and unemployment problems, population migrated to main cities. Okay, main cities. The power is not in here. Main cities. Okay, don't think about it. The power cut is also in here. Population migrated to main cities for searching jobs. Population migrated to main cities for searching jobs. Especially, comma, and write down, comma, put the comma and write down. Searching for jobs and comma, write down. Especially for free trade zones. 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 Free trade. Okay? Free
trade sounds can
yeah. I
what
can't
is the
hear
mean
you.
by those?
Open your video. What did you say? Especially for
free
free trade zone. TRADE ZONE. Free trade zone. Okay, write down this one. Free trade zone. Free trade zone. This one is not clear. This one also not. Trade. The words are not clear. I will share the whiteboard in here. Okay, trade mean this one. Trade zone. Trade zone. Okay. Okay. Can you did you see the board? Free trade zone.
Yes.
Okay. I will explain what is the meaning of free trade zone like that. Okay. Free trade zone. Like free trade zone like Write down free trade zone like Katunayaka, Koggala and Biyagama. 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 Write down the next point, then I will explain both of these two sentences. Write down the next point. Wet zone is consisting with wet zone is consisting with consisting consisting with wet zone is consisting with complex facilities dana you do you know about the facilities?
Yes.
Complex facilities such as complex facilities such as schools, hospitals, banks, such as schools, hospitals, banks, schools, hospitals, banks. Okay.
Okay.
Schools, hospitals, banks, shopping complexes, shopping complexes, shopping complexes, shopping complexes, complexes, like this way, write down complexes, complex, complexes. Okay. Did you see the bird? Did you see the bird? Yes. Shopping complexes. Are there? Are there? Shopping complexes are there? Wet zone, right to that point, right to that point. එකටම ලියා ගන්න, right to that point. Wet zone can be identified as wet zone can be identified as well developed, developed, well developed infrastructure facilities, infras, tructure, infrastructure facilities. Wet zone can be identified as a well-developed infrastructure facilities, distributed for human, distributed for human. In the previous sentence, okay, කලින් sentence එකේදී කියන්නේ තෙත් කලාපය. එතකොට මේ අපි කියන තෙත් කලාපය තුල ට මිනිස්සු එන්නේ migrate වෙනවා කියන්නේ සංක්‍රමණය වෙනවා. MIGRATE migrate. මම කියවනේ එහෙම word එකක්. migrate වෙනවා කියන්නේ සංක්‍රමණය වෙනවා. එක ප්‍රදේශයකින් තවත් ප්‍රදේශයකට ගමන් කරනවා කියන එක. That is the meaning of migrate. Okay? තවත් ප්‍රදේශයකින් wet zone එකට migrate වෙන්නේ ඇයි? Social and unemployment problems නිසා නේද? social සමාජ ප්‍රශ්න සහ රැකියා විරහිතභාවයේ ප්‍රශ්න, රැකියා නොමැතිවීමේ ප්‍රශ්න නිසා. unemployment කියන්නේ රැකියා නොමැතිවීමේ ප්‍රශ්න, social කියන්නේ සමාජීය ප්‍රශ්න. social and unemployment problems due to that in other areas population migrated to the wet zone landscape, especially for the free trade zone. Free trade zone කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? නිදහස් වෙළඳ කලාපය කියන එක. Free trade zone. Okay? In your textbook also mention what is the areas belongs to this free trade zone. ඔයාලගේ textbook එකේ කියන්නේ මේ අචුපතේ තියෙනවා නිදහස් වෙළඳ කලාපයට අයිති ප්‍රදේශ ටික මොනවද කියන එක. ඒවා එන්න පුළුවන් වාර විභාගයේ MCQ. ඒ කියන්නේ පළවෙනි පේපර් එකට එන්න පුළුවන්. That problem may be into your term test paper. Okay? Maybe in your term test paper. What are the areas belongs to the free trade zone? What are they? කටුනායක කොග්ගල and බියගම. කටුනායක කොග්ගල බියගම කියන ප්‍රදේශ ටික තමයි නිදහස් වෙළඳ කලාපයට අයිති වෙන්නේ. ඒවා අයිති වෙන්නේ wet zone landscape එකට. තෙත් කලාපීය භූදර්ශනයට. ඒ නිසා තමයි රැකියා සහ සමාජමය ප්‍රශ්න සඳහා මිනිසු මේ ප්‍රදේශවලට සංක්‍රමණය වෙන්නේ, පැමිණෙන්නේ නේද? මේ ප්‍රදේශවලට පැමිණෙන්නේ. That's why we are telling in the wet zone landscape are high populated area. මිනිස්සු වැඩි කියන්නේ ඒකයි. යම් ප්‍රශ්න නිසාත් මිනිස්සු වියලි කලාපවල ඉඳලා තෙත් කලාපීය ප්‍රදේශවලට සංක්‍රමණය වෙන නිසා. So I already explained what is the meaning of free trade zone. Okay, next we move to the next sentence. What are the complexity? What are the facilities we can see in the wet zone area? Hospitals, schools, banks, hospitals, school, banks, shopping complexes. Those are facilities we can see in the wet zone. Wet zone area වල පාසල්, ඒ වගේම ඉස්පිරිතාල, hospitals, රෝහල, ඒ වගේම තමයි බැංකු පහසුකම්. තව මොනවාද? shopping complexes. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි බඩු ගන්න යන සාප්පු සංකීර්ණ. ඒවා ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා wet zone landscape එකේ. We can see in the wet zone those of facilities are distributed around this wet zone. And also infrastructures are distributed around the wet zone landscape. Okay, infrastructure facilities කියන්නේ යටි තල පහසුකම්. මොනවාද infrastructure facilities වලට අයිති වෙන්නේ? What are the facilities belongs to the infrastructures? Telecommunication facilities, water, road network. Okay, water, road network, telecommunication facilities,
transport
and transportation. Those of things are belongs to the infrastructure facilities of our country. Mostly infrastructures you can see in the wet zone landscape. Okay, next point write down. Transportation networks also well developed in the wet zone. Transportation also well developed. Transportation facilities also well developed. TRANS RTATIO. It is developed in wet zone landscape. In wet zone landscape. Transportation facilities also well developed in wet zone landscape, such as, write to it, Right to that point, such as, such as road systems, such as road systems, expressways, expressways, such as road systems, expressways, overhead bridges, overhead bridges, overhead bridges, overhead bridges, and railway lines, and railway lines, and railway lines, and railway lines, and railway lines facilitates in wet zone, facilitates in wet zone. Facilitates, facilitates in wet zone. Okay. Okay. So in the wet zone landscape, you can see I told you in earlier as an infrastructure facility, transportation network. Okay. Transport කියන්නේ මොනවාද? ප්‍රවාහන පහසුකම් දියුණුවයි කියන එක. තෙත් කලාපයේ ප්‍රවාහන පහසුකම් දියුණුවයි. මොකද දුම්රිය මාර්ග, අධිවේගී මාර්ග, ප්‍රධාන මහා මාර්ග, ඒ වගේම දුම්රිය පීලි, ඒ වගේම තමයි overhead bridge, ගුවන් පාලම්, මේ සියලුම දේ. overhead bridge එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අමාරු වෙන ලියාගන්න. As you think about that word is very difficult, write down in your notebook. Okay. Overhead bridges mean ගුවන් පාලම්. Highways mean pradhana පාරවල්. Expressways mean අධිවේගී මාර්ග. Road system mean road system එක කියන්නේ මොනවාද? මාර්ග පද්ධතිය. Railway lines කියන්නේ මොනවාද? දුම්රිය පීලි නැත්නම් දුම්රිය මාර්ග. මේ සියලුම දේ දියුණුයි wet zone landscape එකේ. තෙත් කලාපීය ප්‍රදේශයේ. එතකොට as a infrastructure facilities we can mention these facilities as transportation methods. ප්‍රවාහන මාධ්‍ය විදියට transportation කියන්නේ ප්‍රවාහනය. Okay. Try down next point. Try down next point. Development is fast in the 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 wet zone landscape, wet zone landscape, development is fast in the wet zone landscape, mixing with urban and rural features, mixing with urban and rural features. Write down the words urban and rural, urban and rural, urban and rural, urban and rural, mixing with urban and rural. Okay, URBAN urban, RURAL rural. මේ sentence එකෙන් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Wet zone areas development is very fast. Okay. දියුණුව ඒ කියන්නේ සංවර්ධනය. Development කියන word එකේ තේරුම මොකද්ද? සංවර්ධනය, දියුණුව. සංවර්ධනය ඉතාමත් වැඩි wet zone landscape එකේ. මොනවට අනුවද සංවර්ධනය වැඩි වෙන්නේ? Urban and rural features, mixing with urban and rural features. Urban mean නාගරික, rural mean ග්‍රාමීය. නාගරික සහ ග්‍රාමීය කියන ලක්ෂණ දෙකම මිශ්‍රව මේ වෙට්සෝන් ලෑන්ඩ්ස්කේප් එකේ සංවර්ධනය සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. තෙත් කලාපීය සංවර්ධනය ග්‍රාමීය සහ නාගරික ලක්ෂණ දෙකම මිශ්‍ර වෙමින් සිදු වී තියෙනවා කියන එක තමයි මේ සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එකේ අදහස වෙන්නේ. Urban mean නාගරික, rural mean ග්‍රාමීය. If you think about that words are difficult, you can write down that words in your notebook. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Next we move to the next part. Next point. I mean, yeah, next point. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, write down the next point. Put a star mark and write down like this way. Put a star mark and write down. The capital of Sri Lanka. The capital of Sri Lanka. The capital of Sri Lanka. Comma. Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte. Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte. The capital of Sri Lanka, the Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte, the capital of Sri Lanka, comma, Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte, and the commercial capital of Sri Lanka, COMMRI. Write down this word, commercial. Commercial. The capital of Sri Lanka, comma, Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte, and the capital of commercial. And the capital of commercial. Okay. And the capital. And the capital of commercial. And the capital of commercial, comma, Colombo, comma, Colombo, comma, Colombo. Also located in wet zone. Also located in wet zone. Also located in wet zone. Okay. Also located in wet zone. What is the meaning of this sentence? What is the capital of Sri Lanka? Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte. අගනගරය ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අගනගරය ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර කෝට්ටේ ඒ වගේම තමයි commercial capital කියන්නේ වාණිජ්‍ය අගනගරය. Commercial mean, what is the meaning of commercial? වාණිජ අගනගරය, මූල්‍යමය අගනගරය. අපේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රධාන අගනගරයට අපි කියනවා main capital of Sri Lanka is Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte, but we can identify as a commercial capital of Sri Lanka as the Colombo. Okay, කොළඹ තමයි වාණිජ මූල්‍යමය අගනගරය කියන්නේ කොළඹ, ප්‍රධාන අගනගරය තමයි ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර කෝට්ටේ. In your term test, in your first paper or second paper, both papers, that's maybe as a question. Okay, that's two areas maybe in as a question. What is the main capital of Sri Lanka and what is the commercial capital of Sri Lanka? Like that way you should keep in your mind these two regions. Okay, these two regions, these both of capital and commercial capitals are included to the wet zone landscape of Sri Lanka, Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte and Colombo. Okay, write down as a small topic, effects for, as a small topic write down effects for effects, EFF, effects, write down. effects for wet zone landscape. Wet zone landscape. Effects for wet zone landscape. Write down one by one as in this way. One by one write down. Effects for wet zone landscape. Okay, point form. For the point form, write down. Effects for wet zone landscape. First one. Mass movements due to the clay mining. Mass movements due to the clay mining. Mass movements due to the clay mining. Mass movements due to the clay mining, comma, deforestation, 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 mass movements, and deforestation. These are the two words, okay? But I might say you earlier. Mass movements, deforestation, comma, unlimited gem mining, 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 unlimited gem mining are the environmental effects. 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 Okay. What are the effects for wet zone landscape? මොනවද බලපෑම් මේ තෙත් කලාපයට තියෙන බලපෑම් මොනවද එතකොට? තෙත් කලාපයට තියෙන බලපෑම් මොනවද? Pay attention to the class. මොනවද තෙත් කලාපයට තියෙන බලපෑම්? Clay mining කියන්නේ clay mining කියන්නේ මොනවද? මැටි කැණීම, මැටි පොළවෙන් ඉවතට ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම unlimited gem mining, මැණික් කර්මාන්තය, මැණික් කැණීම, මැණික් පොළවෙන් ඉවතට ගන්නවා. Deforestation කියන්නේ මොනවද? Write down these difficult words. Clay mining mean මැටි කැණීම. Unlimited gem mining mean මැණික් ගැරීම, මැණික් කැණීම. Deforestation mean වන හරණය, ගස් කැපීම නේද? ගස් කැපීම. Deforestation. Due to these environmental effects කියන්නේ මොනවද? පාරිසරික බලපෑම්, පාරිසරික හානි. Due to these environmental effects, what I mentioned you earlier, clay mining, gem mining and deforestation, mass movements are happening. Mass movements are affected to the wet zone. ස්කන්ධ චලනය වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ භූකම්පන සහ නායයෑම් ඇති වෙනවා. නායෑම් ඇති වෙනවා especially mass movements කියන්නේ නායෑම් ඇති වෙනවා මේ විදිහේ පාරිසරික බලපෑම් තෙත් කලාපයට සිදු කිරීම නිසා. In the wet zone landscape we can identify most of environmental effects are caused to the mass movement effect. Okay, I think you can clearly identify what are the physical features and cultural features of the wet zone, what are the distributed areas of wet zone, how we can identify wet zone by what are the differences between the wet zone and dry zone, what are the importance and what are the disadvantages of the wet zone landscape, and what are the advantages of the wet zone landscape, how population distributed in the wet zone landscape, how the facilities are distributed in the wet zone landscape, like that. We can understand මොනවාද භෞතික ලක්ෂණ, ඒ කියන්නේ ස්වභාවික ලක්ෂණ මොනවාද තෙත් කලාපයේ තියෙන, සංස්කෘතික ලක්ෂණ මොනවාද තෙත් කලාපයේ තියෙන, මිනිස්සු ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා මිනිස්සු ජීවත් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද, මිනිස්සුගේ නිවාස පිහිටලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද තෙත් කලාපයේ, වගේම තමයි තෙත් කලාපයේ තියෙන පහසුකම් මොනවද, ඇයි මිනිස්සු තෙත් කලාපයේ ජීවත් these all of things are we already learn about the wet zone landscape in Sri Lanka. Okay, we can move to the next topic, next main topic. Write down landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula. Landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula. Landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula. Jaffna Peninsula. Landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula and other islands. Landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula and other islands. Can you see the board?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Landscape around the Jaffna Peninsula and other islands. Okay. Did you write down the topic? Did you
Yes,
write down
teacher.
the topic? Okay. I already mentioned you earlier what is the meaning of Jaffna Peninsula, how that area is important to the wet zone landscape. Jaffna Peninsula means this area, okay? In your textbook also you can identify. You already know about the Jaffna Peninsula. This is the Sri Lanka. This is the area of Jaffna. This is the area of Jaffna. Okay. This is Jaffna Peninsula Island and the surround islands. Okay, these are surround islands. This is Jaffna Peninsula. These are the other islands. Okay, these small islands are the other islands. Okay, can you understand by using that map?
Yes.
Okay. This is the Sri Lanka. Okay, you can see. This is the Sri Lanka. See the board. This is Sri Lanka. And this is Jaffna Peninsula. This is Jaffna Peninsula. And other islands mean these surrounded islands around this Jaffna Peninsula. Okay. And other islands mean these surrounded area around the Jaffna Peninsula. Okay. Write down the first point under that topic. Under that topic, write down the first point. Jaffna Peninsula and islands. Jaffna Peninsula and islands. Jaffna Peninsula and islands are Jaffna Peninsula and islands are Jaffna Peninsula and islands are Delph Kites, Delph Kites. The words are in your textbook. Huh? Delph in 37 page. Delph Kites, Nainathew, Nainathew, Delph Kite, Nainathew, Delph Kites, Nainathew, Delph Kites, Nainathew, Delph Kites, Nainathew, which are located in northern region of Sri Lanka. Which are located in northern region of Sri Lanka. Which are located in northern region of Sri Lanka. Which are located in northern region of Sri Lanka. Okay. Okay. Which areas belongs to the Jaffna Peninsula and other islands? Which areas are belongs to the Jaffna Peninsula and other islands? Kites, ne? Kites, Nainathew, and Delph. Delph, Kites, and Nainathew. Those of the areas are islands. Those of areas we can identify as an islands. Okay, මේවා දූපත්. ජැෆ්නා යාපනය අර්ධද්වීපයට යාපනය දූපතට නැත්තම් යාපනය කියන ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ උතුරු ප්‍රදේශයට අයිති දූපත් තමයි ඩෙල්ෆ් හයිට්ස් සහ නයිනතිව් කියන්නේ. එතකොට මේ ප්‍රදේශවලට අයිති වෙන්වෙන් වූ භූ විෂමතා ලක්ෂණ අපිට හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Write down as a small topic, write down as a small topic, write down physical features of the Jaffna Peninsula island. 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 Write down one by one. Flatlands, flatlands, lagoons, flatlands, lagoons, flatlands, lagoons, flatlands, lagoons, sand sheets, sand sheets, sand sheets, sand sheets, rich red soil, rich red soil, rich red soil, rich red soil, limestone soil, limestone soil, lime.
Teacher, what is the meaning of limestone?
Specific features for these islands.
Teacher,
Specific features for these islands. Okay?
teacher, what is the meaning of limestone?
What?
What is the meaning of limestone?
I will explain. I will explain after. I will explain. Limestone soil, and underground water, and underground water, and underground water, and underground water. Specific features for specific features for specific features for Jaffna Peninsula region or this region. Write down specific features for this region. Specific features for this region. First we write down and next we will understand. Okay, next we will discuss. Huh? I will discuss after write down specific features for this island. Write down next point. Write down next point. Jaffna Peninsula is dry zone landscape. 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 Which does not receive rainfall, which does not receive rainfall, receive, R-E-C-E-I-V-E, R-E-C-E-I-V-E, which does not receive rainfall from main types of rain, from main types of rain. From main types of rain. Okay? Okay? From main types of rain. Right to that point. Right to that point. Ekatama liya ganna. Ekatama continue karanna. Right to that point. Okay, continue to that. As a result of that, 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 low rainfall, low rainfall, as a result of that, low rainfall, low, low rainfall, low rainfall, high temperature, high temperature, low rainfall, low rainfall, high temperature, high temperature, high temperature, high temperature, high evaporation, high evaporation, high evaporation. In your textbook, these words also in there. As a result of that, low rainfall, high temperature, high evaporation, low rainfall, high temperature, and high evaporation. as a result of that, low rainfall, high temperature and high evaporation, indicating on this region. Indicating on this region. Indicating on this region. Indicating on this region. Write down the next point. Write down the next point. By using sweep wells, look at my screen sharing board. By using sweep wells, did you see that one? Did you see that word?
Yes,
Did you see this word?
yes, teacher.
Okay. By using sweep wells, agrolands are agro lands. Agrolands are using pump of water from the past. 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 Okay, let's we see what are these features which can be identified. Jaffna Peninsula in the Sri Lanka. Okay, යාපනය කොටස. ඒ කියන්නේ යාපනයේ කොටස අර්ධද්වීපයේ තමයි මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ. යාපනයේ දූපත් වලට මොනවද අයිති වෙන්නේ? kites, delf සහ නයිනති. ඒ වගේම මේ areas වල අපිට හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ flatlands, lagoons, sand sheets, rich red soil, limestone, underground water. මේ කියන features තමයි specific features වෙන්නේ. Specific features වෙන්නේ මොනවාද? Specific features වෙන්නේ Jaffna Peninsula වලට. එතකොට we can identify මේ flatlands කියන්නේ මොනවද? තැනිතල. Lagoons කියන්නේ මොනවද? කලපුවක් තමයි lagoon එකක් කියන්නේ. Okay, you can write down for your notebook. lagoon එකක් කියන්නේ කලපුවක්. island එකක් කියන්නේ දූපතක්. මේ යාපනයේ අර්ධද්වීපය හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් විශේෂ ලක්ෂණ ටික තමයි මම මේ කියන්නේ. In your turn text you that maybe as a question. Okay, you should keep in your mind. That's maybe as a question. Okay, lagoon එකක් කියන්නේ කලපුවක්, island එකක් කියන්නේ දූපතක්, flatland එකක් කියන්නේ තැනිතලාවක්, rich red soil කියන්නේ මොනවද? වැඩි කියන එක. රතු දුඹුරු පස් වැඩි. යාපනයේ අර්ධද්වීපයේ රතු දුඹුරු පස් වැඩි. Red rich soil. The main soil type of Jaffna Peninsula is rich with red soil. Okay. Limestone soil කියන්නේ මොනවද දන්නවද? හුණුගල් පස් වලට තමයි limestone soil කියන්නේ. හුණුගල් පාෂාණ වලින් හැදුම්ලත් පස් වලට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ. හුණුගල් පාෂාණ වලින් හැදුණු පස් වලට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ limestone soil කියන්නේ. හරිද? limestone soil, ඒ වගේම කලපුවක්, lagoon එකක්, island එකක්, ඒ කියන්නේ දූපතක්, sand sheet කියන්නේ මොනවද? වැලි දිගට ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවනේ, වැලි කඳු, වැලි පර, ඒ කියන්නේ වැලි පේලි වගේ ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවනේ මේ යාපනයේ අර්ධද්වීපේ. යාපනයේ ගියහම බලන්න පුළුවන් යාපනයේ කිලිනෝචිය මුලතිව් මේ ඒරියාස් වල වැලි පර ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි underground water, භූගත ජලය, පොළොව යට ජලය තැන්පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ජලය නැති කාලවලට ලබා ගන්න පහසු විදිහට underground water, භූගත ජලය ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ ඒරියා එකේ. Jaffna Peninsula එක විශේෂ වෙන ලක්ෂණ තමයි the specific features which can be identified Jaffna Peninsula by using lagoons, islands, sand sheets, rich with red soil, limestone soil, and the underground water also important to identify Jaffna Peninsula. Next, we move to the next point. Jaffna Peninsula region does not rich with rainfall water as the main types from the rain. ප්‍රධාන වර්ෂාවෙන් ලැබෙන වතුර ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ යාපනය අර්ධද්වීපය කියන කොටසට. යාපනය කියන කොටසට වර්ෂාව මගින් ජලය ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ නිසා high temperature, high evaporation and the low rainfall දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. මොනවාද දේශගුණික ලක්ෂණ යාපනයේ අර්ධද්වීපය අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ? වැස්ස නැහැ, අඩු වර්ෂාපතනය, low rainfall and high temperature. high temperature කියන්නේ මොකද? අධික උෂ්ණත්වය. high evaporation. evaporation කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අධික වාෂ්පීකරණය. high evaporation. yeah, okay. අධික උෂ්ණත්වය, අධික වාෂ්පීකරණය, අඩු වර්ෂාපතනය. යාපනයේ අර්ධද්වීපයේ දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා ජලය ඉක්මනින් වාෂ්ප වෙනවා. නමුත් ජලය ලැබෙන්නේත් නැහැ. අඩුවෙන් ලැබෙන්නේ. Okay, next we move to the next point. Well developed agro land utilization by using sweep wells. Okay, by using sweep wells we can see the land utilization on this landscape, which is the landscape Jaffna Peninsula. sweep lands sweep wells කියන්නේ මොනවාද? ඒ ලිං වර්ගය මොනවාද? ආණ්ඩියාලින්. ආණ්ඩියාලින් හෝ නලලින්. ඒ කියන්නේ ආණ්ඩියාලින් හරි නලලින් හරි භාවිතා කළා තමයි underground water භූගත ජලය පොළොව යට තියෙන ජලය මගින් සිදු කරන්නේ Jaffna Peninsula එකේ. පැහැදිලි නේද?
Yes.
Okay. We will do the next part on next week. We will do the next part on next week. I will stop the class for today. Okay. Your class is 7 to 8:30 p.m. for the night. The academy was send me the message. Okay. The academy was send me the message. For link also say 7 to 8:30. Wind up the link 8:30. I will stop and then I will continue this part on next week. Okay. Good night.
Okay, teacher, good night. Thank you. So, my teacher.